Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you how you can sync and automate dotloop with HighLevel. So all those contacts and leads you have in HighLevel that you're working on, you're following up with, as they turn into deals and transactions, you can have them synced into dotloop so that when you go to make the loop, the contacts are already there waiting for you. You don't have to copy, paste, import, export, nothing like that. It's going to save you a ton of time, eliminate some double data entry, and give you time back so you can create more deals. Super easy to set this up too. Let me show you. First thing you're going to do is go to apination.com and click on Start Syncing. Here you're going to see a ton of different apps, marketing apps, productivity apps, real estate apps. I'm going to scroll down until I get to HighLevel. There it is. Click on that. And it's going to show me all the apps I can sync and automate with HighLevel, including dotloop. There it is. But if you're using any of these other apps, go ahead and connect those two, automate that work, and take it off your plate. So once I click on dotloop, you can see there's 3 automations available, 3 syncs. Dotloop contacts from the address book to HighLevel, dotloop contacts from the loops to HighLevel, and then HighLevel contacts back to dotloop. So something to know, dotloop keeps contacts in 2 places. They have a general contact book with general contact information. That's probably all you need. They also have contact information tied to the loop. So it's going to have more information about the status of the loop and the details attached to the loop. So if there's information about the transaction associated with that contact that you want, then that's the contact you're going to want to sync in. For most people, you're just going to need this one, dotloop contacts in the address book, and then this one, HighLevel contacts to dotloop contacts. In fact, this is kind of going to be the biggest one. I'm going to activate that one first. And like I said, this is getting set up so that when you have contacts in HighLevel, they'll automatically get pushed to dotloop. So when you create a loop, the contacts are there waiting for you. You can just add them to a loop. You don't have to fill in their details. So the first thing to do is sign into your API Nation account. If you don't have one, you can create one. I'm going to go ahead and sign in with Google. Super easy. Do that. All right, and the next step is to connect the apps. Connect HighLevel and connect dotloop. So if I click this connect button for HighLevel, it's going to take me through signing into HighLevel, and it's going to bounce me back and forth a little bit. There's actually kind of a nice shortcut I'm going to show you because you're watching this video. If you open up a new tab and sign into HighLevel, let me sign in using my HighLevel account here. So now I'm logged into HighLevel in this separate tab, but because I'm logged in on the browser, it's going to make this a little bit easier. So that's kind of my tip. Open up a new tab, log into HighLevel, and then hit this connect button. It's going to make it a lot easier. Click add account. It's going to see you're already logged in, and it's going to show you the accounts. I'm going to use that account. There we go. And then it's just going to send me back to API Nation to finish this sync up. So there we go. There's the account now. So I'm going to select that account I've just added. And now we're going to do a similar thing with dotloop. I'm just going to hit connect with dotloop, and it's going to take me out there, and I can sign in this way. Actually, it looks like I'm already signed in on the browser, so I'll just approve the connection. Again, it's kind of easier if you're signed into all these accounts on your browser, which I think most people are because you're working in them all day. All right, so now we've connected both apps. We're going to create the sync. One option here, do I want to sync all contacts when I turn this thing on? That just means everybody who's in HighLevel, I can have them pushed into dotloop and anybody add in the future. If I want that to happen, check the box. The alternative is unchecking the box, and then only people I add from now on will get pushed into dotloop. It's not going to push the existing users. I want to just do that, just for now, just to keep it simple. But if you're trying to get all the contacts, maybe you're trying to get dotloop up to speed, check that box, get them all in there. After you do that, it's going to create your sync. There's just a few options here. There's that option just to double check. Do you want to sync all contacts? There's a filter here. So if you want to send over specific people from HighLevel to dotloop, just to keep dotloop even cleaner, you can do that. And you can filter based on tags. So you can tag somebody in HighLevel as dotloop, give them that dotloop tag, and then tell it, and then the sync will know to bring them over to HighLevel. So I would do tag contains dotloop. So I could do a filter like that. I could filter based on the city, state, postal code, any of this stuff, even some custom fields. I'm going to go ahead and clear it out. I just want to get all the contacts over into dotloop so that everybody's in there and it's easy for me to create loops. Finally, the mapping. Just make sure all the information you have in HighLevel is going where you want it in dotloop. First name's going to first name, last name to last name, email. This all looks good. Phone's going to phone, address. So this looks great. I'm going to go ahead to the top and activate this sync. You can see up here, it's going to sync every 15 minutes. So if you put somebody in HighLevel, it could be up to 15 minutes before you actually see them in dotloop. But this looks great. Now we have a one-way sync going from HighLevel to dotloop, so you don't have to double data entry those contacts into two apps. I can make it so it's going the other direction. And a good reason to do this, I'm gonna click on this dotloop icon to just take us right to the dotloop syncs. A good reason to do this is if you have a bunch of contacts in dotloop you've been meaning to follow up with, but you haven't had a chance to get them into HighLevel and use the tools in HighLevel to start that follow-up. This is a great way to get started with that. So we have the active sync, HighLevel to dotloop. Now we're going to do dotloop to HighLevel. I'm going to activate that sync. That's going to get all those contacts from dotloop, all my past clients, and put them in HighLevel so that I can start following up with them there. You can see we're already connected, so I just have to select those accounts. It's going to double check, do you want to sync persons or participants? Participants are going to be the contact information attached to the loop. So it's going to have more loop information, but you probably don't need all that information. You probably just need the contact information. So I'm going to stick with persons. I'm going to sync all existing contacts because like I said, I'm trying to get everybody who's in dotloop that I haven't had a chance to put in HighLevel, push them into HighLevel so that I can follow up with them. And then I can say don't overwrite that information. That way, if they already do happen to be in HighLevel, this isn't going to bother them. So it's created that sync. Double check. Again, you can filter, double check the mapping. Everything is going where you want. I'm going to put a source. I'm going to put dotloop as the source. I can just type that in there. There's two ways you can do the mapping. You can just type a static piece of text, or you can import like a dynamic field. So if you, instead of source, you wanted to use something like, role or state or country, you could do that. But this looks good. Again, I'm going to tag this with dotloop. And then actually I'm going to I'm going to tag this with role. Maybe that might be nice to have their role tagged. That way I can see who's an agent, who's a buying agent, who's a selling agent, and kind of separate them out that way. This looks really good though. I'm going to go ahead and activate this sync. So there we go. If I go over to the My Syncs area, I now have two syncs running. I'm sending everybody from HighLevel into dotloop so that loops are easier to make. And I'm sending all those people from dotloop back to HighLevel, getting all those clients I worked with in the past in HighLevel so I can nurture them, follow up with them, and create additional deals in the future. That's it. That's how you connect a dotloop to HighLevel. It's super easy to set up. It's going to save you time and data entry and allow you to go back and get those old clients you forgot about, put them in HighLevel, follow up with them. Those are free leads you shouldn't forget about. Nurture those people. They're going to create more deals for you. If you have any questions or need any assistance setting up this sync, give us a phone call, shoot us an email. We're API Nation, and we're connecting the world's applications.